Hi, guys. It's Angie Yingst, or you can call me Angelica Yingst if you'd like. Just finishing up the medicine reading. I'm just going to let people kind of come in here, hoping I can see everybody's comments. We're going to do the medicine reading for May. I cannot believe it's May. I saw a really funny TikTok where someone was like, it's not May, it's still April, which made me laugh. Hi, Shivani. All right, coming in, just hoping I can see myself. I'm printing something, which is what you're hearing. Just want to make sure I'm seeing. Good morning, Debbie. All right, so how's everyone? I'm just going to let people like kind of pop in. I don't do... I'm not doing readings, Shivani. I'm only doing a medicine reading for May and the astrology for May. So I don't do personal readings in these. Hi, Gail. Hi, Bernie. And also, we're going to make sure we're not getting anybody doing spamming like we did last time. So, because I didn't appreciate that. Nope, we're not doing readings, Shivani. Okay, so how's everyone doing? Let's talk about the energy of May. Hi, Mama. My mommy's in here. Hi, Jay. I'm going to do the reading for May. That's what this is. So pull a card. I kind of wanted to talk too about the astrology for May, because it's actually a really nice month. Hi, Jen Manning. I miss you. We're in Taurus season, which is exciting. My mom is a Taurus. Jay's a Taurus. Hi, Kim. I'm sure there's more of you who are Tauruses in here. I have a little dog there. Just making sure I'm getting everybody. So I love Taurus season. I think like as an earth sign, it's fun to be in Taurus season because it's super grounding. And Taurus has a lot of like connection to the sensual part of life, right? Like they are all about beauty, art, pleasure, things that feel good. They're into that kind of, and when I say sensual, I don't mean sexual. I mean the senses, the five senses. So you want to surround yourself in Taurus season with things that smell good, taste good, feel good. You want like good textures. If you're someone who's very sensitive to textures or sounds like I am, I'm like highly sensitive and overly sensitive at times. I'm gonna fix my earrings. It's important for us to kind of like indulge that in May and when we're in Taurus season, because it just will feel better. And y'all know what I mean. It just feels like it's natural. So just paying attention to like putting yourself in situations that feel good. Who else is a Taurus here? Julie, are you a Taurus? Hi, Deborah. Hi, Julie. So I love this. Okay. So we're just, that Taurus vibe is awesome. Deborah's like, this is my season. Yep, for sure. And I love that, we're kind of in this really beautiful place in the Northern Hemisphere where like everything's blooming and all of the flowers are opening and the trees are happy. Virgo, you're good. You're an earth sign. Everything feels and smells amazing. Like right now, my lilacs are like making everything smell amazing outside. So I have a Taurus moon. So that's kind of a Taurus vibe. And then we have Beltane coming up, and Beltane is tomorrow. And that is basically like it's one of the major holidays in the pagan wheel of the year. And in that wheel of the year, at Beltane, it's all about fertility, unions, connection with other people, remembering that this is the fertility of the earth too. This is the time when people plant their seeds, and we also plant the seeds in the belly. So, so to speak. So it's a sexual time, and that's interesting too. It's all about unions and that sensual pleasure. So that's all there. Hi, Sherry. Gail said, I'm paying attention to the feel good, smell good, and texture. Spring has hit in the southwestern desert. Oh, I love spring in the desert. Deborah said that she's a sun sign and rising. Oh my God, so amazing. Hi, Melissa. She is a Taurus moon too. Yes, and divine mass. So yeah, that's I love that you brought that up, Deborah, because when we talk about union, like we often sort of focus on a partner, right? And even like, connecting in that way, but we need to be connected with the union inside of us, right? And if you think of pregnancy, that's the masculine and feminine coming together. That's what we talk about with the Empress, for example. She's a card that's pregnant, so she comes together with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And so we can honor that stuff in ourselves too by doing both, honoring the sun time and the lunar time. So solar and lunar energies together. So Gail says, Beltane, honor time, dance around the maypole. Exactly. The maypole is exactly this. Like, think of it. It's a big phallic symbol. Then you put a wreath of flowers, which honors the yonic symbol. And then you have these ribbons that get woven in and out and in and out. And so, and it used to be, it was male, female, male, female, male, female. And so they would go up and down and weave a beautiful like image around the pole. That is the symbolic dance of masculine and feminine coming together. So we're definitely doing that. Hi, Megan. So this is kind of the energy already present in May. And then we're going to talk about some of the amazing energy that we have. Jay asked a good question. He said, how do we know if we're more sun or moon? Well, Jay, I mean, having known you, you're very lunar. So like we have both. All right. So masculine tends to be more solar. Feminine tends to be more lunar. But those of us like you, who is a healer and a psychic, you'll have that lunar aspect. The lunar aspect is flowy and watery and kind of brings forth that psychic energy, right? They have a really strong intuition. They're really connected spiritually and psychically. They just kind of have that lunar energy, which is it's feminine, but it's not like the stereotype of feminine, right? It is feminine because it flows and it's gentle and it's watery and it's intuitive and psychic. The sun energy, the solar energy, is more outward. So think of also feminine energy as being receptive and solar energy as being transmissive. So someone like me who public speaks a lot, I put myself out there a lot, that's a really lunar way to be, or really solar way to be. It's a very masculine way to be, but I do it in very feminine ways. My teacher, Pixie Lighthorse, calls this the solar feminine. And you, as a psychic man, would be a lunar masculine. Okay, I'm going to just block this person. You're not allowed to comment on this feed and get people for readings with you. That's not what this is about, okay? And next time I'm just going to limit this to friends because, But anyway, does that make sense, Jay? Hopefully that makes sense. Gail says it's a beautiful ceremony. Yeah. Oh, Nora. Hi. I miss you. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about more of the astrology of May. Okay. So I'm hoping that you all will just ignore those people. I'm really sorry that's happening on my feeds these days. I think there are people that just look for tarot readers to do this with. Um, yeah. Gail said, I'm absolutely lunar. Cancer moon is my mama. However, lots of fire in my houses. Yep, 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 yep. Hi, Tammy. It's one of those things like I think that we all have a balance, you know. So do we have like 50-50 lunar solar? You know, some of us do. I think you know, what was interesting, and Jay was in one of my circles um with men, you know, I think in feminine certain women's circles, I seem more masculine, and in masculine circles, I seem more feminine. It's only because compared, I'm like very in the middle, you know, and I kind of go back and forth. So, um, I do embody a lot of solar energy because I'm super decisive and I have a lot of that boss energy that tends to be associated with the masculine. Not in a bad way, you know. I think we can get lost in the idea of toxic masculinity. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about divine masculinity, human masculinity, which is very nuanced and is not, you know, me saying, oh, masculine is this and feminine is this. That's just how we define it spiritually. But most men have a lot of nurturing, caring energy about them, you know. So I don't want it to sound like I don't think men have that, because I absolutely live with a man who's like that. So, you know, who's a nurse, you know. But all right, let's talk about some of the energy. So Mercury enters Gemini on May 3rd. So this is a really good aspect for like multitasking, being present. Also, it can be a little distractible. So just knowing that. But this is about communication. So being able to like code switch kind of and like move through different communities and talk in different ways is going to be super, super helpful. So Belinda said, I'm not in class with you though. I was notified you're on. I'm an ACM with Hibiscus Moon. Do you want me to jump off? No, Belinda, this is for anybody. I'm just doing a general reading because I have my own practice, and this is just part of my practice. Every month I do an earth medicine and tarot reading. I start with a little astrology for the month. And then I just talk about a card that I picked for the month, and then some of the good earth medicine. Like I pick 3 stones for the month, I pick a plant medicine, and I pick an animal medicine. And then I have like a membership on my group, which is, it's not really membership because we don't have a group that we discuss in or anything, but you can sign up and get my guided shamanic journey for the month with the animal that I talk about today. And there's different levels, and I do a full moon reading and a new moon reading with tarot. And so you can always check that out at my website, which is just angieyingst.com. So anyway, that's what this is about. So it's open to anyone. I just don't want people that are like, you know, coming in here to solicit my friends and students and things like that. So yeah, you could get notified whether you're my friend or whether you just follow me or whatever, but you can also just friend me if you want to. Hi, Elizabeth. I love you. All right. Okay. So the new moon in Taurus is May 11th. So it's still in Taurus. So we have both the like sun and moon and new moon in Taurus, which is going to be super fun. I like new moons in earth signs because they're super grounding, and you can do a lot of restorative work during the new moons that are in earth signs. So I'm just putting that out there. Like if you want to get a crystal healing, a Reiki session, a massage, doing it at the new moon might be a really good idea this month, because I think it'll be super restorative for you. And then May 13th, Jupiter enters Pisces. So this is something that astrologers are probably telling you like as an awesome aspect. And I think it's going to be make May even better than May usually is. So because Jupiter loves Pisces. So it's kind of like in a home base. And you know, Jupiter is all like the good luck spiritual planet. So this is a great aspect for magic, for visionary work, for love, for good luck. Jupiter enters Pisces and is in Pisces until July 28th. So we have a couple months of this really good aspect. So that's cool. And then Gemini season starts May 20th, which is my mom's birthday. And so we're going to move into Gemini. And then Gemini has some interesting energy, of course. Like Gemini gets a really bad rap. And as a Gemini rising, I can understand like Geminis, I'm not calling myself Gemini, but my rising sign gives me some Gemini aspects. And those aspects are being able to really multitask. It's being like super intellectual too, but Geminis have a bad rap of kind of being like double-sided, and that can be the hard aspect of Gemini, which is things are changeable, and people don't like change. So Gemini is kind of like the fives of the astrology. So there's a lunar eclipse at the full moon in Sagittarius. Is it Sagittarius? I think so. I should have looked before. Oh my gosh. I am saying that this lunar eclipse is going to be really intense, I think. So just like buckle up on that day. It's May 26th. And, eclipse season. I think one of the things that's going to be a little challenging about that lunar eclipse is just that it's like a kind of a perfect storm for really abrupt endings, which is something that scares a lot of people. Other people are like, woohoo, I'm ready to like end things and start new things, like get it out. So it just really depends. So anyway, there's that. And then Mercury goes retrograde May 29th. And if you're anything like me, it's been already feeling retrograde. We were talking about it. My friend Sue and I were talking about it yesterday. Like it feels like things are in retrograde right now. So I don't know what the heck's going on, but like I had technical issues on my live Q&A this week. It's just been a little crazy. Oh, Debbie's a Gemini. Bernie's a Gemini. Bernie said, I'm a Gemini and I'm always beside myself. Oh my God, I love you, Bernie. Deborah said, moving June 1st. Well, you already have all your contracts done, so you're good moving June 1st. Yeah, it feels like we're in a shadow. That's what Deborah said. Gemini rising. One of the things about being having a Gemini ascendant, which I've always found very interesting, is I'm a twin. And I always felt like my sister and I were like the two sides of a coin. Does that make sense? And so I always felt like I was one aspect of Gemini and she was the other aspect of Gemini. Like that's how Gemini came in for us. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Not always relating to Gemini stuff. So except the fact that I talk a lot. Geminis are known to talk a lot. And I think I annoy people, including my children, a lot. Elizabeth said, this week has been so intense with patients. Jay says, as much as I can hold a conversation with myself, I could be a Gemini. That's so funny. All right, let's talk about the cards of this month and everything that's coming through. So this year has been really interesting for the cards that I pull because I just take my deck, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. I ask that I can get a card for the month that's going to make sense for everybody and that I can work with. And sometimes a card falls out. Sometimes I'll cut into threes and just pull a card. And this year has pretty much been all major arcana, which if you know anything about the tarot, there's 78 cards, 22 of them are the majors. And to get that consistently every single month is a little weird. And I just think, when we talk about the major arcanas that come up, that really is about our spiritual journey. So I think this year is really talking about and working with some major issues in the majors. And not only is it with our spiritual journey, not only is it in the majors, but it's in the beginning of the majors. So we have February was the High Priestess, which is the card, which is the 2 card. Then the Magician was in March, which is the 1 card. The Hierophant was in April, which is the 5 card. And this month, the Fool came. So this is the 0 card. So this means we are starting new. It's like a fresh start this year on a new spiritual journey. And I think we could kind of see that after 2020, that we had this really intense year. Now I'm just going to say January was the 2 of Cups. So it was the exception to the rule this month. But I think that, looking at all these archetypes from the beginning, we are kind of talking about some really core issues. Okay. So High Priestess and Magician are both kind of alchemical symbols, right? They are the alchemist. I think the Magician is the alchemist, and the High Priestess as the psychic or oracle. So we have these two kind of magical cards coming in, and they're right in the beginning of the journey. They're the ones that kind of push the Fool on the spiritual journey. I think this energy is us realizing that we are the divine child on a new spiritual journey. This is the recognition that we're in the ascension. Yeah, Gail said it's a major spiritual year, with ascension. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's, Deborah, this will be saved. You can view this later. So the Fool is, we call him the divine child, but and the Fool is kind of one of those mislabeled cards, because not mislabeled, but the one that appears a fool to some people is actually the wisest of them, because it trusts. Okay, the Fool trusts. It trusts in God to prevent him from falling off the cliff, right? He is holding, or they're holding. Maybe I'll just use non-binary pronouns here. The Fool holds the white rose, and that white rose symbolizes art and beauty and those sensual pleasures, and is carrying a very light pack in the sun, which is always a positive sign in Tarot, and has a little dog who's kind of reminding him to ground, right? Hey, watch where you're going. I'm going to remind you, you're going to fall off that cliff. But the Fool's like, God's got me, or the universe has got me, or my guides have got me. And that's kind of the gift of the Fool, is trust the journey. Oh, Nick, hi. I owe you a call. Let's get on the horn later today, if you can. All right. So anyway, the Fool is a wonderful guide for all this medicine of May, which is kind of starting out with Beltane and that amazing energy, and then moving into that, Jupiter and Pisces energy, which is just flowy and feminine and beautiful and important, So we're using the Fool as a guide here, as our reminder to trust in the journey, and to, trust that your guides have you and that you're aligning. And, we're going to talk about this a little more with our animal guide, but like, we have to be stewards and think of ourselves in nature, as part of nature, rather than separate from nature. And that's what the Fool's energy is. It's completely aligned with what's happening in the universe, right? So that's kind of the Fool energy. So that's what we're bringing in. And then the animal, or the plant medicine this month, which is really, I was so excited to get this, is Wild Rose. And Wild Rose comes in with clarity. Now, Wild Rose grows like in literally everywhere, like even up in the Arctic, there's different kinds of roses. And so in my backyard, they grow as weeds. You might have cultivated roses. You can use anything like that, okay? You can even use just rose water as a spritz for your face to bring clarity to your face. But rose is kind of an antiseptic. It cleanses, it cleans the auric field, it opens the heart chakra. It works with all of those things. So you can use rose as a tea. You can use rose petals as a tea. You can use it on your altar. You can buy roses for your altar. You can cut them. But wild roses have like a different energy. They're a little less like fragrant and intense than like a cultivated rose. And actually, my friend Sharon's always saying like, roses don't smell anymore. What the hell? And it's true. Like, those old roses that used to smell so fragrant, it's less intense now. So, I like working with the wild rose. You can make rose water. You can do all kinds of things with it. I actually love to drink it in tea. And there's a really good tea. The Tulsi rose tea is so good. Very heart opening. You can work with cacao and rose together if you're working with the plant medicine of Central and South America with the cacao. They're a wonderful blend together. But this is to really bring kind of like a gentle clarity to this new spiritual journey that you're on. Okay. And so you can kind of work with them together. In fact, he's even holding a rose, right? I love it. Okay. Oh, Deborah said I love roses. All right. So let's talk about the crystals next. So Moonstone comes in as your first guide. This deck says vision, but Moonstone helps as a balancer of the sacral. It is the stone of the lunar. Obviously, the moon is in its name. There's all types of different moonstones. This is a peach moonstone. This is a black moonstone. There's gray moonstone. And you can even use rainbow moonstone. I love this rainbow moonstone because it looks like a little happy face in there. But yeah, rainbow moonstone, which is technically white labradorite. You can also work with labradorite. I love the heart labradorites. But yeah, you can kind of work with any of those as a moonstone ally. And moonstone is a psychic crystal. It works with the sacral. It works with visioning and working on the third eye. So you can place it on either of those spots, third eye or sacral. You can use it on your altar. You can kind of use it for that gentle visioning. It is a gentle stone, so it really works well when you're kind of working with that rose energy. Like they kind of naturally go together, I think. So, all right, coming over here. Elizabeth said, I love Tulsi rose. Good for anxiety. Oh, that's good to know, Elizabeth. Hi, Rebecca. Oh, Gail's birthstone. So does that mean, is that April, Gail? I don't know when moonstones. I think it's April. All right. So there's one. That's your first stone moonstone. Second one is Herkimer. And I love these two together because they're both intuitive and psychic. I have some really gnarly Herkimers. You can sometimes find Herkimer and this is the reputation of Herkimer as being like water clear. July. So Herkimers they can also be like really gnarly and kind of like celestial quartzes, right? Because they hold a lot of old energy. Here's another Herc that I have. And this was given to me by my mentor. But Herkimers are all about expansion. They're very protective. They're super psychic. They connect you. They're high vibration. They're wonderful for dreaming, for dream work, for clarity, for meditation. They're just amazing stones. They're naturally double terminated, so they have a flow of energy through them. You can use them on the crown chakra. So they work in those amazing ways. And I love working with Herkimer just in my own private meditation practice as a connecting stone, a stone that really connects me to my guides. And you can, hold it. They tend to come a little smaller than this. So don't expect to find like a big one like this, but and this isn't even that big. There are bigger Hercs, but you often find them really crystal clear, like that small, so, and I love Hercs. I think Hercs are one of those stones that should be in your collection. Gail said, I've been developing a magnificent relationship with a Herkimer the last few months. Oh my gosh, me too. I love Herkimer. Belinda. Oh my gosh, the crown chakra every night. Yeah, exactly. I love sleeping with Herkimers. I think like it's super connective and you just have an amazing dream life when you start working with them. Oh, these earrings keep flipping around. All right. And then the last one for this month is blue calcite. Now, I don't have like big fancy blue calcites because blue calcite and all calcites are super gentle. They are wonderful, gentle chakra openers. Okay. And the great thing is, like, I do a layout with all calcites on the body because they're just really gentle. And I tend to use it with people who haven't had a lot of experience or who are super sensitive to energy, because calcites are super peaceful. And like I said, I can only, like, if I had one word to describe calcites, it would be gentle energy. So they kind of like open up gently. And this is a wonderful one for bringing peace, that flow of water, that kind of flowy energy. And also they work really well with both the throat and the third eye. So you can do either, whatever you're working on. Like that feels really good. But third eye too. So either. And working with blue calcite with both the Moonstone and Herkimer, I think are going to be a perfect trio of crystals to work with. So those are your stone medicine. Now let's talk about the animal medicine of May, because I was super excited to have Elephant come join us for this month. I use these cards right now that Susan Boulay draws. It's such a beautiful, beautiful deck. And Elephant is just, it's one of the like ones that are kind of smaller, and just it doesn't stand out. And it's funny because when I pulled Elephant, I immediately thought of a card from another deck, which was the Chrysalis Tarot deck. The Six of Scrolls, which is basically the Six of Swords, shows up in this way. She painted it with the elephant connecting with the fairy through the third eye. And for whatever reason, like, this sticks out to me as some of the medicine of the elephant. And when you read the book, she says basically, like, I just gave the artist one word, which is consolation. And this was the image that this artist drew or painted. And I love this. This is what I think for. So think of elephant carrying the bones, carrying the scrolls, passing on the knowledge. And, the other part is we both give consolation and receive consolation from the elephant. I think the elephant is one of the most auspicious and magical of the animal allies that you can work with in shamanic journey. It's native to Africa. It's native to South Asia and Southeast Asia. It's one of those animals, and I think that the African and Asian animals, a lot of us don't, in North America, don't think to work with them because we think of indigenous animals, indigenous to North America, as being animals that we work with. But we're now in like a global world. We are coming across different animals. And I think it's really, really powerful for us to remember that once our world expands in the way that it has, that we can use animals that come across our path, even if it's like the Facebook news feed path. I had a friend who had an experience watching a video of the elephants, the plight of the elephants, and was so moved. Like, I think she immediately became a vegan, or maybe she already was on that path, but it was like she just felt it so deeply. She said she was weeping, and then like more elephant stuff, of course, starts crossing your path when you watch one elephant video, right? And she didn't really think about it. Like, she wasn't considering what is my animal ally or what guide should I work with. But she came to a journey, and the elephant came through for her and said, I'm showing up in many ways for you right now. And so she ended up working with elephant for her whole life, and I think that we can think of elephant as being one of those guides that comes to us when we need it. I have a little malachite elephant that I forgot to bring over, but I sometimes will just do a grid for the elephants, and I'll use the malachite elephant in the middle of the grid, and I'll use like ocean jasper, rainforest jasper, and malachite, and just send healing to the elephants, because I feel like this card, this consolation card, is like, I see you. I see the plight that you're under. I see the over harvesting of the animals of the earth. We've saw it in North America with buffalo, and, elephants have been targeted by poachers, and their natural environment has been encroached on, that I do think like they have brought so much healing to the earth that we also send healing back to them. And we have to live in concert with elephants, right? So let's talk about the medicine of elephant. So spiritually, elephant is a guide that we think of them as being, well, first of all, they are the largest land animals. They also have the largest brains. So they're super intelligent, and they have a really long memory. They live 60 plus years. They have a long memory because they remember where food is, where water is. They live in a really strong community and family. They can recognize members of their herd that have left like decades later. Elephants that have been in zoos, for example, will remember, like they've shown or played calls from elephants that have left or died, and they'll cry, and they'll mourn for them. And that's the other part, is elephant is an emotional being. So elephants do cry, and they laugh, and they play, and they have a consciousness that is apparent to anyone who's been around an elephant, and apparent just observing them. So, elephants hold a kind of consciousness of the earth, I think, compassion. So Buddhists believe that every elephant is the incarnation of a future Buddha, which I love to think about. They are revered by many cultures, especially those in Asia and Buddhists. And so I can give you some of those. India. In Thailand, the white elephant is the most sacred and believed to carry the soul of the dead, which I love. In one Indian creation myth, it said 16 elephants were hatched from golden eggs. Indra, the god of thunder and rain, which is also my cousin's name, is said to ride on the back of a white elephant. So elephant's said to bring rain and is the guardian of the four directions. And then Ganesha, of course, is the Indian-headed god in Hinduism, who is seen as the remover of obstacles. He's a protector, a scribe, and the bringer of good luck. So love working with elephant. But elephant's medicine is gentleness, commitment, loyalty. They do work together. They wait. They will like surround the most vulnerable of the elephants and put them in the middle of the herd. Let's see, they have a quiet wisdom, of course. They also have such a long memory that they end up becoming shamanically the connection to the ancestral wisdom, the connection to old ways of being, the ancient wisdom of the earth. They also, like when they're dying, they know they're dying, they go to one place where all the elephants have died. They're also seen, they bury their dead. If an elephant dies, they will cover them with soil and with plants and try to like bury them, which I think is really powerful to understanding that there are rituals and ceremony in the animal kingdom as well as the human kingdom. So they have a connection to vibration and energy. Their huge feet can feel any rumblings of the earth. So they're used for grounding as well, and they work with that energy and connection to the earth. So that's kind of some of the medicine of the elephant. And we're going to journey with elephant this month. And that journey will be connected to learning about your own compassion and wisdom and connection to the earth. I think we're going to use and connect with Ganesha as well. And then also ancestral work. So I think, we'll probably be up in the upper world for this journey. So I'm excited about that. So if you are interested in journeying with me, you can look at my website. I often will put them up after I do it for the group. There's a little fee because I want to keep my work going and I need to be supported in that way. There's a membership, so it's $20 a month if you just want to get the journeys, and then it goes up from there if you're interested in like readings or whatnot. This is 1 year of me doing those membership groups, and it's 1 year of me doing these readings every month, which I'm super, super excited about. I love that I'm able to do this and bring this medicine forth, and it's kept me very, very connected to the earth and kept me connected to my people. You are all my people. So it's been really awesome to do that. I'm going to be sending out some like super special stuff for my 1 year anniversary of this. I'm going to just check your email if you belong to my list. I'll probably link it here on my Facebook page as well. So I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the medicine of this month. Gail said, I love elephants so much. They're so magical, intelligent, and emotional. Yeah, I know, guys. It is heartbreaking, right? Oh, Rebecca, I love that. It is emotional. I get kind of emotional talking about elephants. It's kind of surprising because like all animals have threats to them, but for whatever reason, the connection with the elephant and the heart of the elephant is like very deep within me. I just get it. I just feel their plight. So, and I'm just happy to be working with the animals that I've worked with recently have all been native to where I live pretty much. And we're talking about, last May I was doing frog, and then we did tiger, which is also an African animal. We've done mountain lion this year, fox this year, great blue heron this year. So it's nice to kind of move out of my zone of animals I would come in contact with every day and kind of move into the global community of healing. So, well, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to wrap this up now. So if you have any more comments or questions, just post them. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in June. Bye, y'all. Unless somebody else has something else. Okay, no. All right, guys, this will be saved on my website on here and on my YouTube. So, all right, see you guys. Bye.